Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that the biggest sporting event on Earth has completely changed. Not just a new trophy, not just a new host country. Everything. More countries, more matches, more fans, more drama. For the first time in nearly 30 years, the FIFA World Cup isn't just getting bigger, it's being completely reinvented. Some fans believe this will create the greatest World Cup in football history. Others think it could ruin everything that made the tournament so special. But here's the real question. Will the 2026 FIFA World Cup become football's greatest evolution or its biggest gamble? Let's find out. For almost a century, the FIFA World Cup has been football's ultimate prize. Every 4 years, billions of people stop what they're doing to watch nations battle for glory. Streets become empty during important matches. Families gather around televisions. Entire countries celebrate victories together and mourn heartbreaking defeats. Very few sporting events have the power to unite the entire world like the World Cup. Since the first tournament in 1930, football has evolved dramatically. Stadiums became larger. Players became faster. Tactics became more sophisticated. Technology transformed refereeing with innovations like goal line technology and VAR. Yet, one thing remained surprisingly consistent for decades. Only 32 teams qualified for the World Cup. Millions of talented footballers dreamed of reaching the biggest stage. But for many nations, qualification felt almost impossible. That is about to change forever. The 2026 FIFA World Cup marks the beginning of a completely new era. Not just because of its size, but because it changes how the entire football world is connected. The biggest change is impossible to ignore. Instead of 32 teams, the tournament now features 48 national teams. At first, that might not sound revolutionary. After all, adding 16 more teams doesn't seem like much. But when you look closer, the scale becomes incredible. Those 16 extra places mean millions of new supporters will finally experience something they have waited generations to see. Their country competing on football's biggest stage. Countries that rarely qualified in the past now have a genuine opportunity to dream. For many smaller football nations, qualification itself could feel as meaningful as winning a major trophy. That changes everything. Football has always called itself the world's game. Now, the World Cup is finally beginning to reflect that title. Adding more teams creates another massive consequence. More football. Lots more football. The 2022 World Cup in Qatar featured 64 matches. The 2026 tournament increases that number to 104 matches. Think about that for a second. That's 40 additional games. 40 more opportunities for unforgettable goals. 40 more chances for shocking upsets. 40 more moments that millions of fans will remember forever. It also means football supporters around the world will enjoy nearly 6 weeks packed with international football almost every single day. For broadcasters, content creators, journalists, and fans, this becomes one of the busiest football events ever organized. For the first time in history, 3 countries will host a FIFA World Cup together: the United States, Canada, and Mexico. This isn't simply about sharing responsibilities. It's about showcasing football across an entire continent. The distances involved are enormous. Fans could watch one match in Mexico before flying thousands of kilometers to another city in the United States just a few days later. The tournament stretches across dozens of modern stadiums, multiple climates, different cultures, and several time zones. Never before has the World Cup covered such a massive geographical area. Some cities will offer tropical weather. Others will experience cooler conditions. Players will need to adapt not only to different opponents, but also to different environments throughout the competition. That creates a completely new challenge. For many years, football lived in the shadow of sports like American football, basketball, baseball, and ice hockey across much of North America. But that picture has been changing rapidly. Attendance records continue to grow. Youth participation has exploded. Major League Soccer has expanded. International stars have chosen to continue their careers in North America, bringing millions of new fans with them. The 2026 World Cup could become the biggest catalyst yet. Just as the 1994 World Cup helped launch a new era for football in the United States, many experts believe 2026 could permanently transform the sport across the continent. Children watching today's matches could become tomorrow's professional players. Future coaches, referees, analysts, and football executives may all trace their inspiration back to this tournament. Sometimes, one event changes an entire generation. For decades, qualification was one of the hardest parts of international football. Many talented national teams never reached the World Cup simply because there weren't enough available places. Continents like Africa, Asia, and North America often saw competitive teams eliminated long before the tournament even began. The expanded World Cup changes that equation. More qualification spots mean more nations can realistically believe they belong on football's biggest stage. That belief matters. When countries know qualification is possible, they invest more heavily in youth academies, coaching education, stadium development, and grassroots football. The impact extends far beyond a single tournament. It can reshape the future of football in entire regions. History has shown that every football powerhouse was once an outsider. Giving more nations a chance today may create the champions of tomorrow. The World Cup has always celebrated diversity. Different languages, different cultures, different playing styles, different traditions. The expanded tournament pushes that idea even further. Fans will witness tactical approaches from every corner of the globe. Some teams will rely on technical brilliance. Others will focus on speed, physical strength, disciplined defending, or rapid counterattacks. Every nation brings its own football identity. That variety is one of the reasons the World Cup feels different from club football. For a few magical weeks, the entire planet plays the same game, but in completely different ways. And in 2026, we'll see more of those stories than ever before.